The role of the IQA and the EQA. So in this film we're going to look at the roles of the key personnel in this process. But just to review, here again is the broad definition of IQA. It is a plan, process, system and strategy that ensures the integrity and quality of assessment for all programs and all stages of all programs. And here is the diagram from the previous film that shows how IQA systems and the assessment cycle work in parallel. So IQA versus IV, what's the difference? Well, a quick point here about names and acronyms used in these films. Internal quality assurance is mostly shortened to IQA. So we talk of an IQA system. However, also know that qualified individuals who deliver the system's activities are also internal quality assurers, and this often gets shortened to IQA too. Quality assurance personnel who work for awarding organisations are external quality assurers and are therefore referred to as EQAs. Now IV, internal verifier, and EV, external verifier, are still used and are often used interchangeably with IQA and EQA. However, IQA and EQA was introduced to represent the broader role played by these people, and it covers all aspects of quality assurance and not just the verification of decisions. So, what does the internal quality assurer do then? Well, they focus on assessors' performance and their practice. They sample assessor decisions as required by the IQA plan and strategy. They provide support and development to assessors. They design and maintain and build QA systems that are internal to the organisation. They are leaders and beacons of best practice. They deliver standardization training to assessors. They train and develop both new and existing assessors. And they provide admin and paperwork support to ensure compliance and audit trail of all activities. Let's focus in on some of these different activities. These three activities of the IQA form the core of their roles and their responsibilities. The maintenance of assessor performance and the sampling of their activities may lead to the IQA providing training and support to their assessors. The context and perhaps the size and type of organisation may mean that not all IQAs will design and manage the system they work in. Either way, they need to lead by example in their own practice. As with the first point on this slide, the context of the organisation may mean standardisation is delivered by more senior or lead IQAs. That said, the outcomes and the key messages from such activities should be communicated by all IQAs anyway. Whether formal or informal, one-to-one or team, IQAs often find themselves providing support and development to the assessors that they are responsible for. So next, let's have a look at the role of the external quality assurer, or EQA or EV. So the external quality assurer will deliver compliance and monitoring checks for centres as a whole, compliance and monitoring checks of assessment and IQA practice, the support and development of centre practice. They will uphold awarding organisation policies and procedures. They will hold the centres to account on approval agreements. They might interview learners. They will certainly audit centre management systems and provide their decisions via an external verifier or external quality assurer report. So let's have a focus in on some of these different aspects. So here we're saying that the EQA is responsible for compliance and monitoring checks for the centre as a whole, but also responsible for compliance and monitoring checks of assessment and IQA practice. So everything we've said so far in this and in the previous two films would have some applicability to an AO's own QA strategy, which would then manage the risk that their different centres represent. To that end, if a centre is having problems, the risk goes up, and therefore so should the amount of external monitoring activity. EQAs and awarding organisations do have an interest in their centres being successful, so there is also an aspect of support and development again provided to the centres by the EQA and the awarding organisations. The EQA will also uphold their awarding organisations' various policies and procedures, and through sampling and monitoring activities make sure that the centre is doing all the things it should be doing and said it would do when they were approved. A key aspect of this would be that the centre maintains a robust IQA policy and supports it with effective activities. As part of EQA visits and activities, EQAs will sample learners' work and the assessors' decisions. They will also sample the IQA's paperwork and their levels of activity. They will, as part of that, also speak to learners and get feedback from them about the centre and their training experience and their learning experience. EQAs will also audit the training organisation's internal management and administration systems and processes. And finally, they will provide a written report with their decisions and findings. This report can include actions that the centre may have to remedy fairly quickly to maintain their approval status. So that's our quick look at the roles and responsibilities of the IQA and the EQA.